then I pick up wrong questions. Now the questions can go wrong because of two reasons. One, I knew but did silly mistake. Yes, no? Second, I did not know, so went negative. Again, test 1, 2, 3, 4. When you analyze, you will see this section, this category, which I did not know, so went negative. You will find questions in the similar area. These are questions which are your perceived strengths. I always feel sentence correction, not a problem. But damn it, I never realized that after going back home, when I check the paper, when I see 80% of the times, whichever question I am doing in sentence correction, I am doing it wrong. But I never realized, क्योंकि top of the mind recall में, my thought is that sentence correction I am good at. That means that's a weak area, but you are perceiving it strong. So every time when the question comes, I take panga with the question. Every time I attempt the question, every time I do it wrong. And top of the mind recall says I am still good at it. आप देखोगे multiple papers में I get kids who would come back to me and say, sir, I was doing very well initially in sentence correction, but now suddenly questions in sentence correction for me have started going wrong. Suddenly going wrong नहीं, वो पहले शायद इस कैटेगरी में था, एक दो बार तुक्का चल गया, तो तुमको लगा अरे मैं तो तोप हो गया, मेरे को तो सब आता है. But then in due course of time you realize that no, the basic concept or the basic strength in that particular subsection is not there. The moment I am able to analyze this, what I am going to start doing is, in the forthcoming test, I will stop doing this to cup, start doing this. You knew that is your perceived weakness. मुझे आता है लेकिन मैं डर की वजह से नहीं करता हूं. Negative. Are we together? Everyone? Yes, sir. And I will stop doing this.
So how do we, correct our mistake of we mark the answer wrong? We know the answer, I marked C instead of B. But how do we correct
then
it?
do choose blocks so that it becomes invalid.
फालतू सजेशन नहीं. फालतू told you this.
नेगेटिव में चला जाएगा.
मेरी गलत. There used to be the concept where the moment you mark multiple choices in a question paper, the question would invalidate. That means it won't result into negative mark. My question is, some smart, sweet children like you, what they started doing was, the moment they could identify that bloody question is wrong, they used to mark all 4 choices. So by all means and ways, it will invalidate. Yes, no, according to you. And as a CLAT convener, I thought, oh man, they're trying to fool me. No more. The moment you are marking multiple in a single question, you ought to get negative out of it. Period. Be very clear. Logic I have given you. तेरे ऐसा बच्चा है बोलेगा ना, ओ शिट गलत हो गया, 4 मार्क का. वो कहता है जब तक 2 था तब तक I was happy कि at least he have identified that it is a mistake. But which one is the right? He is wanting to equalize your negative provided you tell him which one is right. Logic says that. Then and only then I should accommodate your step. But smart children like you started doing all four. So I have no way to identify whether this child knows it or not. That means you are trying to make fool out of me. So I say, boss, earn negative. No questions asked. Completely wrong. If you marked it, it's an unfortunate state. You have to give yourself leverage of 5 such questions which you will mark wrong. And this time marking is with pen.
Yes, that's the problem.
Don't forget
That
it.
is why we
There is no second option. Even I have told Jindal sir, I said anybody who is trying to mark 2, give them double negative. There is no question. Building your righteous concentration is the only way you can come out of it. There is no other way. Another thing, I have seen a lot of children, what they do is, they do 5 questions in a stretch and then copy those 5 questions bang on the OMR sheet. And there are children whom I have seen, they do 20, 30, even pura section in one shot. They will first do in the question paper and then copy it on the answer sheet. Never do that. Never do that. 1 mark above or below, entire thing is gone. Are you getting what I am saying? एक glitch ऊपर नीचे and your in series all questions go wrong. Don't do it. 5 तक फिर भी चलेगा, because if you look at OMR sheets, they are marked 5 के band के अंदर. I would still appreciate if you do, but anything beyond 5 may be suicidal. Because I have seen kids, who had been doing extremely well, getting anything above 120, 130 and suddenly landing up at 80 in CLAT. And there's no way I can explain why 80. Only way I can explain is, I asked them, you did a bunch and then you copied that bunch on the OMR sheet? Yes sir, we did. I think it is very clear. 40 questions in a bunch, 1 marked up and down, gone. Every time your brain will not keep checking. No, question number, answer number, mark. You know that you are going in sequence. You will continue the things in sequence, and by the end of the sequence you will realize that the game is over. Are you getting what I am saying? Everyone, for sure. This is the way you are supposed to analyze. In the forthcoming tests, you have to identify that the things which you did not know need to be revised, need to be enhanced, and after every test, the subsection of revision will change. Someday you will find you've done extremely good in mathematics, someday you will find you've done extremely good in logic, someday you will find you've done extremely good in legal, and so on and so forth. Because we want that after every test, the next 3 days spent should be 1 day on the analysis and 2 days on enhancing what you feel you've not done sufficiently well in the exam. Am I clear? Absolutely. Everyone, for sure. So we will go back home. First, we will look at the correct questions, identify how many were tukas. Parallel to that, I will also look at the question which I did correct, where concept was also okay, solution was also okay. But identify that how much time did you take. In case you it took 2 minutes and answered, well, can I ask one of my mates to tell me that could this question have been done in a better way where I could have finished it within 20 seconds? This is the sharing which is required now. Because if you tell somebody a couple of concepts or a couple of short tricks in mathematics, somebody will tell you a couple of short tricks in logic, or somebody will share a couple of short tricks in English, or might make your mind run in a direction in which you might have never thought before. पहले मैंने कभी सोचा ही नहीं ऐसा हो सकता है. Great guns. No problem. हम लोग साथ साथ हैं. Everyone, for sure. Then we picked up the questions which are unattempted. We tried looking at what were the questions which were my perceived weaknesses. I will definitely next section do it. Next test I am definitely going to do it. The moment that question will come in front of me, I will give myself confidence, telling that this is something which I analyzed, which is creating a trouble for me, which is my perceived weakness. Actually, this is my strength. Let me do this question. So what is going to happen is something which is your which you are not knowing, or which you are knowing and doing it wrong, they will start getting corrected. And something which you are not doing because of fear, you will start doing. And if I am precisely knowing this is a particular thing which I do not know, I will leave it. So what happens? My negatives start going down, my positives start going up. So it gives me a double positive effect, and my score will at least jump by 15 marks for sure. For sure. There is no second question about it. Provided 3 tests you analyze in the way I have asked you to do. हम लोग साथ साथ हैं, सब लोग for sure. Now you have already gone through CLAT 1 and CLAT 2. I want you guys to spend next one day, that is today entire day, on these 2 papers and analyze how and which particular sections you have been defaulting at. Is that clear? Everyone? For sure.
Sir, but the answer